Hey guys, so welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. I'm Chandra, and we have I guess for now, it's the last one as of right now for D, and we've actually transitioned into the 17th of March, 2022. Now, as a monk, I'm normally well asleep before this time, but I had some service work and things that I had to do rather late, and so that kind of pushed me back doing some of the tarot card readings till a little bit later, which is okay because I actually get to sleep in a little bit tomorrow because we have a fantastic festival that we're going to be doing. It's called Gaura Purnima, and it's also going to be the full moon, by the way. And we're going to be doing some deity installations for Gaura and Nitai up here in Michigan at the temple. So going to have an amazing feast that we're putting together for the devotees, and just a really good experience overall. And yeah, really looking forward to that, and doing some nice service opportunities tomorrow. Well, technically today now, but after I wake up. So, okay, so that aside, we're going to talk for just a minute now about the tarot card reading, because we have the last one that we're going to be doing for D tonight, and then Chandra takes a little bit of rest. Okay, so I've already mentioned this, in some of the other videos that we've done, the other readings that we've done so far. This is just stuff that came about as a result. Whatever I get, I tell, whether it's directly related to the question being asked or not. I don't hold anything back. And so I've sort of hinted at this already. I think her kind of talked a little bit about like what this question kind of details, but the question itself details, the question she asks me is, what will my future husband's personality be like? So we've talked a little bit about that on some level, and the cards have kind of shared a little bit of information about that as well, sort of indirectly. But we're going to just kind of, in this reading, we're going to hit home on that and just really look and deep dive sort of into the personality aspects of this person. So what I like to do is, for personality, if somebody asks me like, well, what's a person's personality, or what is this person like? A lot of times with this particular type of reading, it's one that I don't do very often, but it's actually, instead of a 3-card reading, I'm actually going to do a 4-card reading. And there's a reason kind of behind that when it comes to the personality, because in the tarot, we have the 4, I call them the 4 factions. So we've got the cups, we've got the swords, we've got the pinnacles, or sometimes what's called the coins, and then we also have the wands, or sometimes called the staffs. So to kind of give you an idea of these things sort of have a little bit of influence over a person's personality. There's sort of a male and female component to it in terms of the energy. It's not sexist or anything. It's just kind of the, how do I best put it? So like, it's the propensity or the tendency of someone to act in a certain way, like what gives somebody kind of like a, what is about their personality? What are these characteristics? And when I say male and female, or masculine and feminine, you could take it as kind of like the sun and the moon. We're talking about sort of like polarities. And these polarities kind of play off of each other a little bit when it comes to like personality and what a person's nature is and that type of thing. And so what I'm going to do with this is we're going to do 4 cards, and each of the 4 cards sort of represents one of those 4 factions that I just mentioned. Now, to give you kind of an idea of what they mean, like swords are going to be more about the thought, or it's going to be kind of like, thinking through processes, or, keeping things to ourselves a little bit, while we ponder them or think them out. So a lot of times it can also be about conflict. We're kind of in a conflict with ourselves, like we're just not satisfied, or, we're trying to find solutions or answers, and it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. And so there's that kind of thing. what kind of coincides with the swords on some level, sort of as a close relative or close counterpart, is sort of the sort of like I would say probably the cups more than anything, because the cups are really about emotion. So the cups, they kind of, whereas our thoughts kind of get to the heart of our thinking, to be very rational and critical, and that the cups really play into our emotional makeup, the emotional side of us, like kind of our personality. Are we an emotional person? Do we have a lot of affect? Do we have no affect? I mean, there's a lot of things that can kind of go along with that. And then the wands, or the staffs, I call them normally the wands, but the wands, they deal a lot with like the creative energy of a person. So it's that creativity, and it's the doing side of things. It's kind of like, I almost get the vibe of like people that have a lot of wands are more kinesthetic. They're more of they might go out and like build a house, or, create a work of art, or put up a fence, or, do some kind of a plumbing job or something. They're just more kind of that hands-on, it's really that Leo kind of energy also, where it's about, it's about acting first and thinking later, sort of like, it's just kind of that nature. So that's part of that. And then when we get to the final one, it's kind of that Capricorn energy, and we're talking about here the pentacles, or the coins. Some people call it the money cards. Sometimes if those cards come up, in a financial reading, someone wants to know about that, we can get a little bit of insight in terms of like profession and all that type of thing. But the money cards, or the coins, or the pentacles, they tell us a lot about a person's groundedness, if that person's kind of more grounded or earthy, kind of in their reality. It's kind of like their nature is more about materialism and nice things. You get that Virgo energy of kind of like the Virgo's kind of like classiness, liking nice things, that kind of thing, the glitz and the glamour. Or the Taurus energy, where it might be more about like just stubbornness and just, this has got to be my way kind of thing. So you get that kind of in this kind of makeup. So if you kind of get an idea now, you're starting to get a picture of like how these emotions and all these things kind of fit in. These four factions kind of fit into the personality makeup of an individual. So that's what we're going to do. So now that I've shuffled these cards to the point of no return, now it's time to focus in on the question. So she wants to know, what will my future husband's personality be like? That's what we're going to try to address now. So I'm just going to shuffle these one last time, really good. There we go. And then I'm going to do split them up, cut the cards, 4 cards, and I'll talk about them here in just a second. Okay. All right. So as luck would have it, I didn't really address the fact that sometimes we get those major arcana cards, and that's what we got. That's actually what we got in this reading. So these are some interesting things here. So, all right. So let's look at the first one. The first card that we have is a Devil card. So don't get freaked out or worried. It's not bad. Trust me, it's not bad. Okay, so but when we get this Devil card here, Devil card is, it's kind of like this propensity sort of towards like addiction, maybe. And addiction could be like alcohol, it could be like drinking or something, or it could just be like not having a lot of self-control when it comes to certain things, maybe eating sweets or something, but kind of like the personality is that kind of an addictive personality, but it's about like, sometimes when this card comes up, it's like we kind of like let sort of the spiritual side of things go in lieu of more of the material. Let's just put it like that. So, is this person really focused on a lot of things to do with like spirituality, religion, higher meaning things, the reason that we're here on this planet, what are we supposed to learn, life lessons, that kind of thing? Maybe not so much. Okay, so just so you know, so that's kind of like a part of the thing. So As far as being closely tied to like, spirituality and everything, it could be maybe just in namesake or something, but I'm kind of picking up that more the person is kind of like leaning less away, more away from that type of thing, and more focused on like things like, work, making money, success, things that are more about the material side of things. And so that's that part of it. The only thing is like with this, like if we get in these kind of situations, like we all get in these situations from time to time where we just feel more driven or compelled, or our thoughts just kind of lead us in a certain direction, and we kind of forget the things that really do matter in life, like relationships with others, and building upon those relationships, and loving other people, and doing great service and great work for others, and trying to be of assistance and help and selfless. It's kind of this card is sort of like not screaming selflessness, maybe a little bit more on the selfish level, but I think he's a pretty nice person. I mean, I'm picking up that he's got a nice personality for the most part, but just that he's kind of more, I don't know, there's kind of like spirituality and things maybe don't interest him as much, in that I don't know, maybe just that he's, more about carnal things, like things of, nice things, and there's sort of an addiction, maybe like a shopping kind of addiction or something like that, or having to maintain a certain status or a certain quality of life, in terms of like material abundances or material pleasures, that kind of thing. So just be sort of aware of that. A lot of times when this Devil card comes up, it's not a bad thing. It's just sort of like, it's a reminder that, we can, like, the people in this, they can take those chains off of them anytime they want, and they can leave the situation. The thing to bear in mind, though, is that they kind of are like allowing themselves to be in this situation. It's, they have the freedom to do whatever they want to do, but they're just kind of more opting to kind of stay in this like lower level vibrational energy. So like if you know anything about like Bhagavad Gita or anything, like it talks, like chapter 17 talks about you've got sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic, or you've got like more truthful things, higher purposes for why we're doing things or living our life, or kind of the higher intention behind things, more spiritual intention behind things. And then we have Rajasic, which is more about like kind of the material, or Rajas is from a Sanskrit root, like kingly kind of. So it's more about like, not like with food, it might be more like gluttony, or the sweets, or, things that I'm going to eat, the rich curries that taste really great. It's not about simple, dal and rice or something like that. It's more about like, more refined, more flavor, it's about kind of going after those kind of things. So it's kind of giving you some ideas here. And then the next card that we have, as far as personality goes, this is a really good one. It's this is the 8, and this is another major arcana card, and this is a strength card. So this person, part of their personality is to be able to calm other people down, or to make other people believe a certain way, or influence somebody to feel really great. It doesn't matter how harsh that person is. This person has a very calming effect over people that might not be. So if someone's erratic, say for example, like you and him are in a relationship with one another, and maybe your personality is such that, if you get upset and you just start, I don't know, yelling or getting, frustrated, he's going to be able to come over and calm you down right away and put you in a good mood and tame the wild beast, so to speak. But he's not just doing that with you, and that'll probably be the case on some level here and there, but he's able to do that with everyone. So that could be like a boss that gets upset. He's able to calm the waters. He's a peacekeeper kind of. He's very good at communicating, very, very good at communicating. And when he does do it, he actually gets humble when he does it. Like there's a humbleness to him when he goes to calm people down, or he's kind of the, if there was a major catastrophe or major disaster or something going on, he would be very calm. I'm picking that up. Like he wouldn't get really stressed out about it. He would just kind of more or less be able to handle the situation, very calmly, without like spazzing out or going crazy or like losing his mind and that kind of thing. he would very critically be able to think through the thing and say, okay, no, this is what we need to do. This is what we're going to do. And he would be able to calm everybody down and get everybody kind of on his page of thinking. 8's about money also. So this is like the 8th card of the major arcana. It's actually the 9th card because we have the 0, which is a Fool card. But for the sake of what we're talking about here, this 8 is all about like material abundance, and it has kind of that thing. And this is one of his qualities that allows him to be successful. And that this is, it's kind of this inner strength that he has that comes out when it's needed. It's just a really great quality. I mean, not a lot of people that I've known have ever had this, but he's able to just be very calming and serene with people and stuff when he needs to be. So there's that aspect of his personality. Okay, so now we're going to get into the last 2 cards here are coin cards or pinnacles, and it kind of hits back home to what I was talking about before, kind of with the material. The devil card sort of hit at that as well. I mean, so that kind of was a lead into what I'm about to talk about now, as far as his personality goes. And the first thing is the ace, and this is the Ace of Pentacles. New money, being able to create something, create new wealth and bring things into fruition. So, as far as that job situation goes, it could be something like a startup or something where he's like a partner in it or something, but it's newer. Maybe there's been a round of venture capital funding or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of saying what comes to me. And a lot has really come to me over the course of these readings. But, this is about being able to get money, new money and stuff like that. And that's sort of like his objective is to be able to make it himself, not rely on family money or anything like that, but to be able to really just, keep doing things like investments and new things and that type of things. He's, he doesn't really rest a lot, this guy, like when it comes to this dedication to things. Pinnacles are also about like being grounded. This is someone who is going to want, probably a nice home and is going to require, some creature comforts, he's not going to be, he's probably not going to emulate my childhood where, we did our laundry by hand and everything like that. He's going to want the washer dryer, probably a nice set too, maybe the energy efficient one. I don't know. But that's kind of what this is like, is sort of telling us is, he's money focused and that's part of his personality. He may talk about it or he may kind of, I don't know, want to say brag, but just subtly hint at it perhaps. And then we have the last one, which is the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles, this is another part of the aspect of his personality. Quite a conservative guy, like if you want to know like kind of his thinking and that, as far as money and things goes, he doesn't like to let it go, he holds on to it. He's a saver and an investor, and he makes very calculated decisions. That's part of his personality, is being so calculated. And he doesn't like to lose, this guy. He's a winner. He's all about winning and, really making things happen. And this is called the Miser card sometimes, because if you look at this card, this person's got his feet on the money, his hands on the money, money's on top of him. And, he's not just letting it go. He's on his own throne. He can have whatever he wants, do whatever he wants, but he's protecting that money. He's not letting it go so easy. So it has its pros and cons. I sense that with this, there will be, for your life, I mean, just for your own benefit, I would say, as far as the relationship goes, there will be money and, wealth and things on that nature. But, to have money, you've got to be probably pretty good with money. And that sometimes means not letting it go, like not giving it away or giving to charity and things on that end. Just kind of taking more of kind of a miserly approach, like just kind of holding on to what you got and not letting other people influence that. And that's kind of what I'm picking up really with him is that's kind of what, so he may, I don't want to say be cheap, but he's going to be practical. Like he's not going to be wasteful whatsoever. Like, he may very well like allow or I don't want to say allow, that's kind of, he may be the kind of person that is critical about overspending. Like he doesn't want, he's got to have that kind of control over like finances and money and things like that, and how it's spent, and even the material things that you buy. He's the kind of personality that, if you waste like too much plastic wrap or too much aluminum foil, he might get upset about that, or say something to you about it, if he notices it. So that can be kind of a headache, like not everybody wants to deal with those kind of frustrations or those kind of stresses, yeah, so it's kind of like that. It's sort of like, but he does like nicer things, he's not, kind of like a Virgo type of energy is what I'm sort of picking up. He could be a Virgo, maybe like a September birthday or something. I don't know exactly when, maybe September 12th or 13th or something like that, somewhere in that middle part. He did have that middle card earlier, so that could be something to do with it. I could see that. The 12th or 13th, maybe 14th, maybe even of September, possibly. Could be like his birthday. I don't know how old he is, but I am picking up those kind of things. But so, yeah, that kind of that. But he's very, but they're very caring and very passionate, especially with like the children. That's kind of that Virgo-ness coming out. They're very good with their kids. They take good care of their kids, and they're good parents, and that kind of thing. So, financially, nothing to worry about. But just, just be prepared. It's a lot about work and responsibility, and it's, commitment. Commitment's going to be there and stuff like that. But I see you being happy. I could see you very well being happy. I think his tendencies and his nature is going to match yours on some level. You'll be a softer version of him, but he is going to be, as he gets older too, he'll have a lot of money. He'll millions of dollars. He may be trying to be a billionaire, who knows? But he is, he's driven, and very intelligent. And he doesn't do well with unintelligent people per se, but he tolerates them. He tolerates them, but you can get a sense just from kind of like, and probably you guys will have some closed conversations from time to time about this very topic, about just, these people, they don't understand. Something along those lines. But anyways, we've got to end it here. It's time for Chandra to take some rest. I've got so much work to do tomorrow for Gaura Purnima. Anyways, much love, many blessings to all of you. Dee, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read the cards for you. If you need anything, of course, I'm always here for you. Please reach out to me. Don't ever hesitate. I'm always available, always here. This is a service that I do. Again, guys, if you haven't already checked out indirectknowledge.com, check it out. There's donations on there if you want to help support the work that we do. Stay tuned. If you join our list, when we get some of our spiritual courses and different things like that coming about, you'll get access and insight into that as well if you're interested in those kind of things. And that's pretty much it. I hope everyone is having a really, really great day today. It's a full moon, so looking really forward to that. Anyways, Haribol, Hare Krishna. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Indirect Knowledge. Much love, many blessings.